We're live.
Okay, go ahead.
Guys, welcome. Happy Sunday. And if it's Sunday, it's time for Gogue's Big Fight Preview.
Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.
Guys, welcome. Happy Sunday to all of you. And I hope you guys had a very safe and festive pre-Halloween party last night, if you guys decide to do that. And I want to thank all of you for joining us in our karaoke marathon last night, in which we, dogged on Eddie Hearn as well as, Devin Haney as well. But guys, here to preview this weekend's upcoming big-time events on ESPN and DAZN, respectively. Guys, we're in for a treat, seeking the counsel of our dear friend, Coach James Gogue. James, how art thou, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. No fights on the schedule this week. They got some interesting fights next week, with the rematch of Conceicao Foster and Schofield and the guy we helped out, Tellez. It's going to be probably Schofield's toughest test. Oh, yeah. I mean, I talked to Schofield's manager, and I told him that, we were sparring Tellez. And, he's a veteran, Joe. He's fought a lot of good guys, beat a lot of good guys, tough. He's smart, he's sneaky. And Floyd, you look at his resume, he hasn't fought nobody, that has given him any resemblance of a test. It's pretty much been one-sided, He's been asking all the questions, but he hasn't been answering none of the questions. Well, he's been asking the questions, but he hasn't been answering the questions. So,
yep.
When you got a young prospect like that, that's what you want to see, Joe. If they can answer the questions, Yeah.
In my opinion,
anybody, the boxing world is full of fighters that can ask those. Ask those questions, but ain't too many. When the going gets tough, that's when you got to answer those tough questions. We'll see. It's a good little test. This is his best. What do you call it? His best to me. Looking at his resume, I go, yeah, this guy's a good type of fighter. Floyd should be fighting at this stage of his career. You know what I mean? And him calling out Keyshawn Davis and all that bullshit. Come on, man. Let's see how you do against this guy. Okay.
Well, once again, guys, and there being, I think Floyd Schofield, I think they've been justified in taking their time with this kid because they know what they're looking at in the ring. Unlike Tim Zoo's team last week, Chingao. So I guess, Coach, you didn't watch Jack Catterall beat up our brother, Regis Prograis from Houston?
I didn't see the fight, man. I didn't think it was a good stylistic matchup.
Yeah, I boycotted the fight also because it was obvious what was going on with Eddie Hearn. The last fight in Regis's contract, putting him in a terrible style matchup in Jack Catterall's backyard in Sheffield. Yeah, the writing was on the wall, and I already knew what was going to happen. Once again, Jack Catterall flooring Regis Prograis twice in the ninth, en route to a wide, unanimous decision. Yeah. But hey, we are going to start things off, guys. Before we start sizing up Conceicao versus Foster 2, as well as Schofield versus Tellez, we're going to size things up with a, an edition of
Terrible Fan Takes on Twitter/X.
how's that for the greatest Kenyan accent of all time? Yeah. Here it goes. Let me know when you can see this, Coach Gogue. I'm going to put this on so to get your commentary on it. Let me know when you can see this, sir.
I can see Oscar.
Very good.
Yeah.
Here we go, sir.
To it. All right, so last weekend, Timzu got viciously knocked out in the third round against a relatively unknown opponent. Here's what he had to say.
What the fuck just happened? Like, what did I get hit with? And couldn't regroup, and I don't know, man.
I have nothing but respect for Timzu. I actually love the guy. This is just another example of PBC's horrible matchmaking skills. Let's take a trip down memory lane. So 10 years ago, almost to the day, I had several traders in my office. Douches. My company, Golden Boy Promotions, built all the top PBC fighters, including Errol Spence, Deontay Wilder, the Charlo brothers, Danny Garcia, Abner Mares, Leo Santa Cruz, the list goes on. But these disloyal douches in my office waited for my fighters' contracts to expire, and they took them over to the new startup promotional company called PBC. Hundreds of millions of dollars were raised, and PBC tried to take over the entire boxing industry. And they failed miserably. All the fighters they stole from us were on track to have Hall of Fame careers with the guidance of Golden Boy. And now look at them. They fight once every 3 years. PBC ruined their careers. It is a sinking ship over there. Karma takes a long time, but it always comes around. Let's get right to it. All right, so last...
Okay. Coach, is there anything wrong or incorrect or non-factual that De La Hoya just stated?
He pretty much said, he pretty much told 110% the truth. You know, back then, there were Richard Schaefer. He conspired with Al Heyman. When the contracts of the Golden, them fighters he was talking about, when they were about to expire, he didn't extend them. Okay. Oscar was having problems at the time. If you remember, personal problems, substance abuse problems. And he was in and out of, what do you call it? Treatment centers and everything. So he wasn't being, what do you call it? Paying attention to business in the office, what was going on. He had trusted individuals he brought into the boxing in his company, was paying them great money. And, behind their back, they were, screwing them over. They were pretty much organizing a coup against Oscar to get, to take his company from him. First, they tried to buy it from him. Okay. Al had that money and all that. They were going to buy it. And this Oscar agreed to it, because he wasn't in a good state of mind. Richard was telling him, you ought to just go off. You got too many problems right now, just take the money and just go off into the sunset. You know what I mean? This business is just going to have, all the bullshit, just trying to, get him to sell the company, hand it over to Al and him. And he almost fell for it, I heard. From what I heard, he almost fell for it. At the last minute, he said, no, this is my company, and this is the way I want to run it. And guys like him, there was, 3 guys. I don't want to mention the names. Just Richard was the main culprit of
Yep.
organizing that coup. And they didn't, fighters like Jamal, Charlo, Berto, all these fighters, man. Danny
Yep.
Garcia, all these
Deontay
fighters.
Wilder, Keith Thurman,
Abner Mars,
yep.
Leo
Adrian Broner.
Sanders, when their contracts came up, he let them run out. Okay, because Richard knew that they were, he didn't. What do you call it? They were going to start. When Oscar said no, I don't want to sell my company. They said, okay, we'll start PBC, and Al got that $550 million from Waddell and Reed, and they started their own company. And all the fighters, they didn't re-up with Golden Boy, so they took them over. In the dead of the night. Not only there were fighters fighting on Golden Boy's banner, man. They didn't even have them on contract, man. I don't want to tell you what happened was they trusted Al, and they thought Al wouldn't do that to them. And Don, I remember Don Chargan warning them, "You better get these guys in the contract, man. They're gonna walk."
Yep.
And I remember him telling Eric, "Oh man, Al wouldn't do that to them. Al wouldn't do that to us." You know what I mean? Yeah, but it was a big old fucking coup. It got real ugly. Them disloyal motherfuckers that put a knife in Oscar's back. Trying to take over the company. It didn't work, and all those fighters with PBC were pretty much with Golden Boy because Oscar, Al, Richard, they were all one basically. They were the top promoter in boxing, man. They were all one.
Yep. Over 80 TV dates, the year that the final year that they were together, and I remember distinctly. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they pulled that shit on him, and what happened was Oscar sued Richard, and I think Al paid, I don't know, $24 million, to settle that lawsuit for, what Richard did. You know what I mean? I can't remember what the legal term is. It's basically, I don't know. Fucking, I don't.
No. It was they settled for unjust enrichment.
Yeah, unjust enrichment. Yeah, 24 million. Oscar got out of that, and yeah, man. Boxing's fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Your best friend could be your worst enemy. Okay. Oh, Don, no, Don warned Eric about that. You know what I mean? He goes, I was listening to a podcast Eric was on with Steve Kim and Mario Lopez. He goes, there's three things Don Chargan told me. He goes, to be a great matchmaker, you need luck. Number two, of course, you got to know the style matchups. And he goes, the third one, he goes, Eric, when you get in this business, you're gonna get to know all the movers and all the shakers, all the people, all the top managers and all that. He goes, in the first part of your career is getting to know them. He goes, in the second part of your career is getting even with them. You understand that, Joe?
Oh man, do I ever, brother? Oh boy.
He goes, get even. And Oscar, this is what Oscar's talking about. Karma, baby.
Yep.
He goes, what he's trying to say, this business is fucked up. All these people you get to know, they're gonna screw you over eventually.
Yep. Yeah. Got to look out for number one. In the immortal words of Rodney Dangerfield, you got to look out for number one and don't step in number two.
Yeah. But anyway, like I said, everything Oscar said was to the letter T, man. I mean, I call it like I see it. I was there when all that shit happened, and I knew that shit was gonna happen because they had a lot of them guys didn't have on contract. Guys like Gary Russell, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And a lot of other fighters they didn't have under contract, and they were fighting on them Golden Boy shows, under Golden Boy's expense and building them fuckers up. Yeah, it was fucking Oscar. Yep. I don't blame him, man. I'm glad he's happy. I'm glad he got his revenge. Now look at PBC. Now, can you talk about this, Joe? About Al's health is not doing good, huh?
Shoot, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, boxing world knows he had a stroke. He's in the hospital still. Had an infection, and he's not doing too good now. Now, Al Heyman is the brains behind PBC. If he's not involved, who's gonna be the director of that Titanic, that sinking Titanic?
And I hate to laugh, but it was hilarious on Clapback Thursday from last week. He starts playing the theme from the Titanic with Celine Dion, talking about the PBC. And you know what? I can't blame Oscar for feeling this way. Now, once again, I remember I had a couple of fighters on a local Golden Boy Fox card. And I remember that night, it was the year before everything came down. And I remember having a conversation with both Eric and Roberto when they were both the matchmaking tandem, right? And they were telling me, you know what's going on here? Why are we using our dates to furnish Al Heyman's fighters who aren't under contract? And why is Richard allowing this to happen? Well, we now know why. Once again, and yeah, Oscar was in a bad place, but that you're still getting paid by Oscar De La Hoya, and why would you sabotage? And how would you listen to Al Heyman telling you as CEO to sabotage your own company? It didn't make sense.
What a snake, man. What a fucking shitbag that motherfucker. Hey, man, look, he's a shitbag. He's a scumbag, okay? All right? Richard, Richard, for him to do something like that, he's a scumbag too. You know what I mean? And the other two or three, four people that were involved with Richard, okay? That that was part of that coup. Yeah, man. Like I said, Oscar, he's got, I'm talking about guys that are real tight, that were in his inner circle, real tight with him, man, and they screwed him over. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad Oscar got his karma, like he said, his revenge. So I know he's happy, man, because he waited a long time for this. Okay.
Yep.
And he's still in business.
Yep. And even after Canelo leaving, he's still in business. Once again, Canelo, what is he going to do? What does the future hold for him? If PBC fails to operate, once again, guys, the event in Houston in December was canceled. Now it's uncertain whether or not proposed events are going to take place. No slated venue, no slated dates, nothing announced. So once again, it remains to be seen whether or not PBC is still in business or are they out of business. Once again, guys, here's another one of terrible fan takes. And once again, guys, look at the way Floyd Schofield is being nurtured and carried right now. And then compare that to the way Tim Tszyu was treated by PBC. Yeah, he's finished, guys. And once again, we told you guys this week. But for some reason, Coach, fans have a really hard time of grasping the fine art of cultivating and nurturing attractions. Now, once again, before we listen to this idiot, right? And I say that with all the utmost kindness I can muster. But correct me if I'm wrong, how many prospects did they actually cultivate after Golden Boy after they removed themselves from Golden Boy, Al Heyman and PBC?
Shit. None.
Yep. That's it. So here we go. We're going to listen to this bug-eyed fool who doesn't know the difference, doesn't know this business, and is just merely mirroring fan perception at this time. Here, take a listen.
La Hoya. He talked about the PBC and he talked about the Tszyu fight and how Tszyu got knocked out by murder. And what Oscar De La Hoya said was, PBC, you don't know how to matchmake to save your life. That is the shittiest thing. The war room. And what boxing fan base right now can hear. It was good that we saw that murder was that much better than him. We want the truth. We don't want make-believe great fighters. We want to know who is the baddest man on the planet for real. And we're tired of the good matchmaking. An upset ain't an upset if the fans are lit about it. An upset is an upset only when the outcome's preset. When we know what's going to happen between Tank and Lamont Roach. That makes us upset. Oscar De La Hoya He talked about the
Okay,
PBC
that's
and he
enough.
talked about.
So that's enough, guys. Once again, Coach, they were still developing Tim Tszyu, and he obviously wasn't ready for that level. Once again, one of the fine arts of matchmaking is understanding levels. This game is all about levels. And if you don't understand that as a matchmaker, and fans will say, well, why should we care about that? Well, once again, this sport is based on the strength of its individual attractions. How many are there in the world, Coach?
Franchises, not many.
Yep,
Not many
and
at
it
all. In the
takes a
United
lot of
States.
time and a lot of money.
In the United States, shit. Canelo, Tank, that's about it.
So how are you going to develop attractions if you stick them in tough while they're still in the developmental stage like Floyd Schofield?
Floyd, look, at least they're taking their time with the kid. You know, they're getting them the right opponents. They're not rushing them. You know what I mean? This guy, he's fighting, like I said this week, Tellez is the right, perfect opponent for Floyd at this stage of his career. See, when you're building a prospect, Joe, you know, it's in stages. Every fight, you know, you're going up the steps. It's a stage. And you got to get the right type of prospect, okay? To help you develop going up the stages. You don't want to, you know, you're going up your next stage and all of a sudden you're fighting a guy you shouldn't be fighting, you know, 2 or 3 fights down the line because, you know, you're not going to be ready for it. You understand, Joe? You understand, Joe? It's an art.
Absolutely.
It's a science. You know what I mean? But then again, you get a prospect and you put him in with a fighter he should beat and he loses. Hey, man, you don't blame the fucking matchmaker. You blame the
Coach
fighter.
Gogue. Sure.
Yes. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Keep going, sir. Yes, keep going, sir.
Okay, what I was saying is, you know, every stage of a fighter's career, you got to get the right opponent for his development. Okay. Now, a seasoned matchmaker knows how to do that. An inexperienced matchmaker, he'll match you too tough at the stage of your career. For example, he'll put you in a fight. You shouldn't be fighting that guy, that type of guy, like, you know, 2 or 3 fights down the road, not at that point. But it takes experience, matchmaker to see that, and an experienced coach to make sure your fighters get matched correctly and everything. So, but then again, you get a guy that you're supposed to beat, and you don't beat. That means you weren't what we thought you were. All right. Basically, Top Rank has a lot of those, man. Verdugo, they sign a lot of those fighters.
Verdejo,
Verdejo, yeah. They sign a lot of those fighters. I remember back in the day, Skipper Kelp, Frank Pena. Oh, there was a shitload. Alyssa Augie Sanchez, all these fucking fighters they sign that don't cut the mustard, okay? That don't make it and everything. It's just the way boxing is, man. It's you just do your best to match make them as they're going up the ladder. And if they don't make it, if they don't, if they don't beat the guys that they're supposed to beat, that just tells me they don't belong with that organization. Like if Schofield, I told his manager, if he don't beat this guy, he don't belong in Gogue Boy stable. He don't belong to be, Joe? He don't have the, he shouldn't be a Gogue Boy fighter. What I'm trying to say, if he can't beat this fucking guy he's fighting.
That's right. So here's the magic word, though, guys. This is the right time for this level of opposition for Floyd Schofield. So once again, if he can't get past this guy, who's going to be as tough as tested date and has proven durability and proven power at this level.
Yeah.
Once again, if you cannot shine on the big stage against a guy like this, you have no chance in beating anyone in the top 15 at 135. So this is the perfect level opponent for Floyd Schofield for the road ahead.
You have no business being a Golden Boy fighter if you can't beat this guy. Shit, just That's what, see, Top Rank. They get rid of you, man. They put you in
Yep.
with a fighter they think you should beat to be a top ranked fighter, and if you don't, boom, you're gone. Carlos Marderas was, you know what I mean. He was he lost to that one guy that Keyshawn Davis beat, and they got rid of him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I just see it all the time, man. There's fucking Ruben Villa. They're probably going to release him. You know what I mean? So
Yep. And there it is, guys. And there it is. Before we move forward, guys, and get to the breakdown and review or preview of Oshaki Foster, Robson Conceicao 2, as well as Floyd Schofield, Rene Tellez. That's going to happen this Saturday, November 2nd. Let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat, shall we? My brother Jesus, and welcome to the show, sir. And my brother Outlaw, Jojo, let's go Dodgers. I tell you what, they hold court and lead 2-0. Can they steal one in New York? But I tell you what, this is a real heavyweight baseball scrap, and I absolutely love it. There's a lot to like about these Dodgers as well as the Yankees. We'll see if they can steal one in New York, and I love it. I'm going to be tuning in. Jesus M also says Cowboys are garbage. Can't even beat injury-prone team. Yeah, I know. Tell me something I don't know, Jesus. And my brother G Funky Boxing, welcome to the show, sir. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother G Funky Boxing. And if you're in the Northern California area, go visit Mr. Tequila in the greater Sacramento area. And they're going to be he's going to be presenting care of Lena Promotions. He's going to be having a special presentation with all of his fighters there, present for the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul super event. Yeah. And guys, go say hi. Someone special, well, not too special, but someone might be ring announcing there. Yeah. November 15th, guys. Go say hi. And Jesus M says, Coach, you would be great fit to train Tim Tszyu. No?
that motherfucker wouldn't be that hard to train, man. Shit. I mean, it's, you know, he wouldn't be hard to train at all. First thing I work on is his defense. Okay, being more intelligent with his defense. Improving his defense because in his last 2 fights he got hit more than I liked in the fighter. Okay, basic fundamentals. Here's what a manual would do, and it's the same shit I would do. Number 1, make sure his footwork's good, his balance, and work off his fundamentals. His jab, better jab. Okay, better defense. Better hand placement. Just all around defense. You know what I mean? Blocking punches correctly, head and upper body movement. Shit like that, man. And add a few, if he's capable, a few advanced defensive tactics, techniques to his arsenal. You can see he's limited defensively, Joe. Shit, you know what I mean? Hands up. That's the only defense I see in the guy, and his hands are not even up properly. Because when he got caught with that counter left hook, when he threw a right hand, he didn't bring his right hand back to block that counter left hook, or he didn't weave under it. He didn't get under that counter left hook. Little shit like that, man. Tim Tszyu would be easy to train, man, but yeah, he wouldn't be. His dad. I don't know why his dad is not involved with him, man. You know what I mean? More.
Look,
fucking guys.
Yeah, look, from what I can gather, Timmy wanted to do this all on his own. Once
he
again,
wanted the dad involved. Yeah.
Yep, and Coach Tszyu told him, you know what? I don't like the Fundora fight before that. And then before the Murtazalia fight, I don't like this fight for you, son. He went ahead and did it anyway. So there it is.
And he's got a bunch of dumb goofball people in his administration that let this shit happen, man. Yeah.
Yep.
And Tim, he's got some, he's raw and green. He just got to polish up in a lot of areas, especially his inside game. You know what I mean? And his defense on the inside. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to defend themselves against those punches at close range. And just a lot of shit that guy needs to learn, man. You know what I mean? But you can see he's got the naturally athletic gifts. His dad. You know what I mean? His dad.
Yep.
You got it. It's in his genes. So
there it is.
Man, yeah, he wouldn't be shit. He wouldn't be hard to train at all, man.
There it is. There it is. Thank you for the question, Jesus. We really appreciate you being on the show. He also says, we'll get to this in a second, Tellez is resilient and Tellez may pull off the upset. Well, this is the right time at the right this is the right matchup at the right time. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. But he says this, Bacron versus Tim is best versus the best. Obviously not Jesus. That was not even competitive. That was a slaughter. So is it the best fighting the best in that division? No, it's not. He's still in development. And he also says, what is Oscar talking about? He protects fighters way too much. And G Funky says, Oscar's on point, 100%. Who's right, Coach?
About protecting fighters too much? The motherfucker's a franchise. I can see if the guy wasn't a big ticket seller and a big hometown hero, not a national hero in Australia. Yeah, then you don't protect him. If he don't bring shit to the table, yeah, put him in there, man. And he's a champion, throw him in there, like Carlos Adami or that fucking that southpaw, that top rank guy, that I can't even, that middleweight, super middleweight.
Oh yeah, Jean-Rebecca Ali Manala. Yeah.
Oh fuck, see, you throw him in there, shit. They got a belt, but they mean nothing. They have no market value. Okay, they don't have a natural organic fan base behind them. Tim Tszyu did. So you don't need to put him in a stupid stylistic matchup like that and ruin a franchise, because there ain't a lot of them in boxing nowadays, man. I mean, there ain't in the States. Canelo is a franchise. Tank, he's a slow dying franchise. Ryan Garcia, you can, he's he's not established. There's no consistency. There's really only one franchise, and that's Canelo. I mean, you know what I mean? You don't put Canelo in stupid fights, like put him in with better beef. What the fuck for? You know what I mean?
Yep. And also, once again, guys, the two biggest franchises, minus Jake Paul, currently have been cultivated by Golden Boy Promotions. Not Eddie Hearn, not Al Heyman, Ryan Garcia, and Canelo Alvarez. So once again, to sum this up, guys, the moral of the story via Don Chargan, God rest his soul. Promotions 101, protect your ticket sellers. And if they're not ticket sellers, then you have no choice but to stick them in tough. That's the only way you can increase their market value. That's it. Guys, words to live by. Outlaw, karma is a bitch. Yes, it is. And G Funky is on point as usual. Once again, a credit to the business. We love you, G. Says stars aren't made overnight. Stars have to be built, and it takes a lot of money and a lot of work. Amen.
Damn right.
Toby Bartlett, welcome to the show, sir. Good of you to hang with us last night. Boy, that was fun, wasn't it? And he says, salute Joseph, Coach Gogue, and the chat. Yes, sir. Salute to you, my friend. Thank you for being a great, great fan of boxing who recognizes all of it. And you're a true blue fan. And all of you guys from the UK are awesome, and we salute you. God bless you.
He's listening from the UK, huh?
Yep, he sure is. And it's already
what time is it over there, man?
Almost 6 a.m. where he is.
Oh shit, that's loyalty, baby. Welcome, Toby.
God bless you, my friend. And yeah, Jesus M also says, Coach, Tank bout in limbo because PBC may be out of business.
That's what you said, Joe. I just heard it from you today, man. I've been out of the loop. I won't be surprised.
1 + 1 does indeed equal 2, guys. And once again, it's not just connecting the dots if you understand and have been in this business for a considerable amount of time. There is reason for concern if you're a fan of PBC.
Joe,
go ahead, sir.
They probably whoever's bankrolling this fucking shit, Prime Network or Prime Video, what, I don't know.
No. They're not giving Al Heyman a dime. They're distributing it based on a percentage of the profits.
Well, guess what? They probably don't have the money, man. Okay, and they wanted him to take a pay cut, and he didn't. So they said, okay, we'll just cancel the whole show.
So I can tell you honestly, from what I've been told from people who do work with PBC, that the gentleman who bankrolled the Tim Tszyu Murtazalia fight was the owner of that resort in which the fight took place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
without anyone steering the ship, it's going to be very difficult. It's virtually impossible to anticipate a thriving PBC in 2025.
Look, Al
Once again,
Heyman
guys.
is PBC. Without
Yep.
him running, without him steering, steering the ship, who's gonna do it? You know what I mean? Man, Oscar, his wishes came true. It's a sunken ship. So
Yep, that's it. That's it, guys. Hawker Mustang, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for hanging with us last night, man. It was a lot of fun, brother. Hold on. None of those Golden Boy fighters were stars, so who cares? Okay. So once again, you're salty. We understand how you feel. Yeah, I'm the best fighter. Once again, this is not the UFC where they just promote the brand. This business was built on the level of attraction and promoting individual fighters. Once again, it was Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler. It wasn't Top Rank Presents. And then enter name fighter here versus enter other name fighter there. Okay, this isn't run like the UFC, where it's just, hey, rinse and repeat. You have to understand that, man, as a boxing fan. Once again, that's why we are here, to educate you guys on the business. Alberto, my brother in Christ, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach on this day. And man, thank you for joining us last night. It was a lot of fun. And as Susem says, yep, out of business. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And there it is. There it is. And Tim, look, Jesus, once again, protect your ticket sellers. And if he's not a ticket seller like Regis Prograis, yeah, turn him loose. But put him in a 50-50 fight that he can fucking win, right? That wasn't a 50-50 fight. That was a miserable style matchup, and we all knew it was going to happen. There it is.
It was his final payday. He retired.
Yep, that was it. He had no choice. Where does he go from here? And the Martin 9400, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach. Who are they talking about? Kid Austin fighting? I guess that would be as good a time as any, right? Let me see. Hold on. One more. And YG Thug, welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting the coach. Wins the fight this Saturday. And we also have Cringe Bro. Welcome to the show, sir. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day. An absolute horrific robbery. I don't blame Robson, but it was sad to see him screaming as if he thought he had won. Foster will have to stop him to win. Wow. We'll see. And Hawker Mustang has, settle down, Cringe. Don't make me cook you. Yeah. Hold on. Pretty low IQ. That's between you guys, right? So once again, that sets the table, guys, for this Saturday night's main event on ESPN, and that's going to be between Robson Conceicao defending his first major world title against former titleist O'Shaquie Foster. Guys, let me rattle off the tail of the tape for the title challenger on Saturday, O'Shaquie Foster. Icewater comes into the ring, age 31, fighting out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'8.5" tall in the center of the ring, fights behind a 72-inch reach, originally from Orange, Texas, now residing out of Houston, Texas, training with Bobby Benton and Aaron Navarro at the Main Street Gym. He comes into the ring with a fine record of 22 wins, 3 losses, 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the sometimes reserved O'Shaquie Foster?
He's athletic. He's quick hands, good counterpuncher, slick defensively. But like you said, Joe, he doesn't stay busy with his combinations on a consistent basis. Okay, and he lets these close rounds slip out of his hands. Okay, because he's not busy enough. He's got the talent and ability. He just got to let his hands go, stay more active. You know what I mean, Joe? Put his combinations together behind his jab and stuff like that, man. When he fought Conceicao, he waited a lot, okay? He was tentative. he didn't pull the trigger like he should have on the times when the opportunity was there. So, hopefully he learned his lesson, because he loses this fight. Oh boy, he's back at the, what do you call it? He's an opponent now, man. That's all. He's just an opponent, and
No.
I wouldn't be surprised if Top Rank got rid of him too.
Yep, I wouldn't be surprised as well. Once again, this is the final fight on his Top Rank contract. We'll see what happens, guys, on Saturday. But, guys, here's the tell of the tape for Robson Conceicao. El Nino is going to come to the ring at age 36. He fights out of the orthodox stance, standing almost 5'11" in the center of the ring, fighting behind a 70-inch reach from Salvador Bahia, Brazil. He comes into the ring with a fine record of 19 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 9 big wins coming by way of knockout. Coach Gogue, what's there to like about Robson Conceicao?
He's tall, rangy. He's physical. He puts his combinations together. You know what I mean? He's aggressive. And he's a big boy. He's 5'10". You know what I mean? Physically strong. Ain't scared to let his hands go. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's his strength, Joe. That's his strength, Joe. Is his physicality, his aggressiveness, putting his combinations together. Okay, he's tall. He's rangy. Okay.
Keep going, Coach Gogue. I've got to take care of something real quick. Keep going, sir.
He's tall, rangy. He's physical. And that's what won him the fight last time. I thought it was a close fight. I thought maybe, it could have went either way, man. You know what I mean? Conceicao was putting his combinations together, but a lot of them weren't landing. Whereas Oshaki Foster was more conservative, but he was landing, cleaner shots. But like I said, in boxing, it's what the judges like. Each individual judge likes, and it's a crossroads fight for both fighters. Conceicao loses his belt. Shit, what the hell is Top Rank going to do with a 36-year-old fighter, man? I'll probably get rid of the guy, man. And the same thing with Foster. It's the last fight of his contract. So, he loses this fight. Well, he could go, wherever he wants. But if he wins this fight and he stays champion, he could go, somewhere else. And, there ain't no fucking promoters out there, man, okay? There's only really 2 promoters in the States he could go to, Top Rank or Golden Boy. And I don't think Golden Boy's interested. They ain't going to want to pay him the money he wants. And Eddie Hearns too, but Eddie Hearns is stable, is what do you call it? Top heavy. He's got a lot of fighters in his stable that he's got to feed. Will he have room for Oshaki Foster if he wins this fight, keeps his belt? We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And another thing is, if Oshaki Foster loses this fight, and Top Rank will probably get rid of him, and if he doesn't look good, oh shit, he's an opponent. Now, if he keeps his belt and looks good, hey, he's got market value. Okay, he's got some market value left in him, and maybe Eddie will open up his checkbook. That ain't Eddie, it's DAZN, but I doubt it though, man. They're top heavy right now with fighters. And
Yep.
Golden Boy, I don't know if they're gonna want to sign him, but Top Rank there ain't a lot of promoters out there, man. I mean, boxing. I remember back in the days, man, there used to be, 5 big promoters back in the days. At King, Aram, Main Event, Cedric Kushner, America Presents. Then Gary Shaw came on the scene. Sugar Ray Leonard was on the scene for a little bit. I mean, there was a lot of promoters, big promoters with TV dates. Now, there's only like 2 in the United States that are worth a shit. You know what I mean? I can't say Eddie hasn't built no attraction in the States. He's had a contract with DAZN for 5 years, and he's failed to build up an attraction. The only champion he's developed in the States is that Raymond Ford. Okay. Hey, Joe, what do you got in the background? I hear some noise. TV.
No. We're good. It's just, we're fine, brother. But I tell you what, Coach, before we move forward and we get your prediction for this fight, Mateo, thank you for joining us, sir. It's good to see you, and thank you for supporting the coach on this day. He says, I've got Robson winning again. Obviously, the judges at ringside thought he outworked Oshaki Foster in the close competitive rounds, and it was enough to sway the judges at ringside. Sly, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you. I didn't think it was the most exciting fight, but Foster definitely won. Foster completely neutralized Robson's strengths, landing the cleaner, more effective shots during the 12-round championship fight. Coach Gogue, your thoughts? Who do you think won that fight?
Honestly, Joe, if you're going by clean, effective punches, you got to go with Oshaki Foster. Oh, like I was saying when you were gone, Robson was busy. He was putting his combinations together, but they weren't landing. A lot of them weren't landing. They were, Oshaki was blocking a lot of the punches and everything, but Oshaki was landing the cleaner, more effective telling punches, which usually has, you do it, you land more than your opponent round by round. That's going to win you the fight. So let's see what happens in this fight, man. You know what I mean? And a lot of it has to do with judges too. Where's this fight at, Joe? New York? You there, Joe? Well, wait till Joe gets back. But a lot of it has to, who the judges are, man. Some judges like that, like Mexican judges, boy, they would have gave that fight to Conceicao, because they like, if you throw punches, you're aggressive, and you throw, even though it don't land, they're going to give you the edge. Whereas, good, real professional judges out there, where they see you landing the cleaner, more effective punches, they're going to give you the round. So, like I said, it's what do you call it? It's on who the judges are in the fight and everything. But it should be a good fight. It's a crossroads fight for both fighters, to tell you the truth. Like I said, what's his name? Foster. This is his last fight under the top rank, under his contract for top rank. He loses, I guarantee you, he's gone. They're not going to re-up. And if Conceicao loses, they might be cutting. They might be cutting the cord with him too. Hey, Joe, you back yet? I guess you got cut off. So, but anyway, yeah, it's going to be a good fight, and let's see. I don't know who they have on the undercard. That's interesting. I like to find out who they got on the undercard, but I haven't been paying attention. I just know this fight's going on, and a Floyd Schofield fight. I know, what do you call it? That's a fight I'm interested in too. I want to see how he performs against a veteran like this. Tellez guy. We've been sparring Tellez up here in Leon, Mexico. By the way, you fans out there listening, Tellez, called, asked us for help. We said, yeah, no problem, because my guy's getting ready for a fight too in Mexico, Mexico City, March the 16th, and the guy we're fighting has a similar style, typical Mexican style, aggressive, physical, come at you. So we decided to get some work, and we got a lot of good work. The last day we sparred, we went 14, 15 rounds. So, and we train at high altitude too. It makes a difference. Training at this high altitude, it ain't no joke. It's a lot easier to train at sea level than it is at high altitude. But Tellez, he should, be in great shape like he always is, because he trains at high altitude. He's from Querétaro, a town over there by Mexico City. So training in the altitude, when he gets back to sea level, he's gonna be in when he gets to sea level, he'll be in excellent physical condition. And that's why.
Hold on, coach, hold on. I'm sorry, guys, about that. I had to deal with something. My apologies. It couldn't. I had to deal with some and make some technical changes. But, Coach, what did I miss? Who did you pick for the winner of the fight on ESPN, the main event fight?
Hell, man. If Oshaki Foster learns from his mistakes and stays a little bit busier, I'd pick him to get his belt back. Yeah. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, you know what? I can't blame you. And I think Bobby Benton, once again, he should have his man ready. And they understand exactly where the shortcomings were, and I can't see them taking any chances with the judges at ringside. I can't see them doing that once again. So, guys, also on this card in the co-main event of the evening, Raymond Murataya. He takes his undefeated record against Jesus Antonio Perez Campos, who is a serviceable, tough guy and a very good matchup for Raymond Murataya. This is handpicked to make a very durable guy, but he's handpicked to make Raymond Murataya look like a world beater, because Raymond Murataya, immediately following this victory, assuming that he wins, he's going to be calling out all of the big names at 135 pounds. Coach Gogue, is he ready for the top dog at 20?
Doesn't look good his last couple fights, Joe. That fight against Farmer, well, Farmer makes everybody look bad. Just that ugly, slick southpaw style. But the fight before that, he looked ordinary. You know what I mean? Top Rank was high on this guy because he was knocking guys out. He was looking spectacular. But let me tell you, they lose interest in you real quick if you give one bad performance. If you give another bad performance, you know what I mean? You're not, you're not high. You're not high on their, what do you call it? High on their stable fighters who they want to move. Now look at that southpaw, that 135-pound southpaw. They got that Mason kid. Oh, they're high on him. You can see they don't mind spending money on him, keeping him active. Okay, they're excited about him. But Murataya, his last two fights, he hasn't been looking spectacular or living up to their expectations. Okay, on what they want to, on what they want a fighter to look like to be a star. Okay, Top Rank has the highest standards in boxing. Let me tell you, man. Yeah, they signed the best talent, and they expect you to perform at the best, at the best you can be at a high level, looking explosive, looking exciting, getting the TV executives excited, getting the executives at Top Rank excited. Okay, they when they sign you, you know what I mean. They only sign the best, and when they sign and they expect big things out of you, and when you start stinking up the place and not performing to their standards, because they got a high standards, like the University of Alabama when Nick Saban was there, he set a standard, a high standard, and he every year a standard that the players had to achieve and meet, and that's the same thing with Top Rank. They set a high standard, and they expect their fighters to achieve and meet that standard. And when you go out there and lay a couple goose eggs like Murataya did his last fight, they lose interest in you real quick. And if you lose a fight like Carlos Balderas, a USA Olympian, they get rid of you. You know what I mean? They cut you loose, man. I mean, it's like the NFL. Not for long if you don't perform.
Jerry Glanville. Love it, brother.
Yeah.
So hold on. JD Spades, welcome to the show, sir. And thank you for hanging with us last night, man. We had a lot of fun. And guys, if you missed any part of last night's show, it's still up, guys. I had to cut out all of the karaoke stuff because it was blocked in several areas. So the abridged version. The abridged version is still up. But he says, Coach Gogue, what are your thoughts before we move forward? He said, well, Coach Gogue, what are your thoughts on Lupe Valencia, former manager Ryan Garcia?
I don't know the guy personally, so I can't comment. I heard he was a lawyer trying to represent all these damn fighters and this and that. And I have no idea. I can't. I'm not going to spread gossip on a guy I don't know anything about. Okay.
Well, from what I know, Mike Miller, what makes him an effective attorney and manager, he knows boxing. He's a boxing lifer. Lupe Valencia, he doesn't know shit from Shinola about the boxing or this business.
Yeah.
And there it is.
I don't know the guy, so.
Yeah. Well,
that wouldn't be right on my part to talk about the guy, talk about the guy, especially if I'm going to be critical of him. If I don't know the guy, I don't know what he could do. Never met the guy. So, hey, guys like that.
Look,
guys like that always pop up in the business. Okay. I seen him last 40 years. Guys, lawyers come into business, you know, because they like the bright lights, they like the fame, being attached to their fighter and all that shit. I've seen it all the fucking time.
Yep,
Come and
there it
go,
is.
baby.
There it is. There it is. G Funky says Eddie will overpay Foster with his own money. You know what? Him being a non-ticket seller and him not really being all that scintillating on the center stage, honestly, in my opinion, Coach, now correct me if I'm wrong, I can pull out my crystal ball and say, O'Shaquie Foster, if he loses this once again by less than scintillating performance, not letting his hands go, he's got pro box in his future. What say you, sir?
Probably. If Pro Box is still around, are they still around? They haven't been doing no shows lately.
Yep. That was because they're based out of Florida and because weather didn't permit. But
I don't know, Joe. They used to do a lot of shows. They're cutting back.
Yep.
What does that mean, Joe? They're not making money. They're losing money, okay?
And that's it. That's it. We'll see, guys, because they're talking about potential expansion to a healthier market in the UK in 2025.
Who's that?
Yeah. Gary Jonas.
Gary Jonas said that?
Yep.
Fucking. So did Turkey said that shit too. Yeah. Hey, Joe, what does that tell you? If they're looking for a more healthy market, they know the United States market is dog shit, okay?
Yep. And they see what's on the horizon. They're reading the market, guys. Once again, Gary Jonas is a very smart businessman. And they're looking at the devaluation of the dollar. Now, I'm sure they were watching, like everyone was, the BRICS forum with over 30 world leaders visiting with Vladimir Putin. Guys, it's not looking good for the American market. Joe, that's all I can say.
The American market ain't gonna. It's about the fan base, okay? They don't have. It's a niche market. They don't have the hardcore fans like they used to. They only got like 250,000 hardcore fans left in boxing. They don't have the millions. It's not mainstream, okay? So basically, what Gary knows where a hot market is in the UK. Boxing is like what it was in the 80s, the 70s in the United States, the UK market. You know, right now, the USA market is a fucking joke.
To say the least, guys. And once again, as the real bosses of boxing, a lot of it is up to you guys. A lot of it is up to you guys. If fans are merely content with stealing most events, yeah, guys, it's not a business model that's going to last. That's all I'm going to say. But let's look at the main event. Once again, Renee Tellez Giron. Yes, sir.
When did you hear about Gary Jonas thinking about heading to England?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It was about the time of the hurricane, right?
So he hasn't been doing no shows. You notice it, Joe.
Yep. The last show we did, Chris Colbert got, KTFO'd.
When was that?
That was, I want to say last Wednesday or the Wednesday before last. I think it was last Wednesday, wasn't it?
I didn't even know about it. I haven't heard any shows they've been doing, so I figure they're probably fucking running out of money.
Well, you've been focusing on your fighters. By the way, would you like to give us a status update on your talent from Mexico way?
Well, I got to fight, one more. Ibran Retamoso. He's like a 17-0, 12 knockouts. That's the guy we've been sparring Renee Tellez and everything. And we got a fight in Mexico City. Typical rugged, tough Mexican, and what makes it hard is fighting in the altitude. We're used to the altitude now. 7,500 feet when you fight in Mexico City. Okay. We're used to fighting in the altitude, like fighters are used to fighting at sea level. It's different, man. It's a different type of animal when you train in this altitude and you got to fight in this altitude against some tough physical pressure fighters. So, one more fight here, look good, dominate the motherfucker. And then it's time to go to the States next year, man. He's ready. It's time, I don't like looking ahead, but take care of business. Then my next plan is to go to the States and fight. He'll be ready. because you can fight these tough Mexicans up here in in the high altitude, thin air. You're a bad motherfucker because it's not easy, man. I know a lot of guys from sea level. They try to go fight in Mexico City or here in the high altitude. Shit, after 2 or 3 rounds, they can't breathe. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's totally different, man. Totally different. So, training my guy, being up here all the time, we're acclimated to the altitude. So, when we go fight at sea level, man, we should be all right.
There it is. There it is, guys. And once again, Coach, he's got the eyes. He understands what level his fighters are currently. Yeah. And he understands when to, in the immortal words of Kenny Rogers, got to know when to hold him, got to know when to fold him. And there it is. There it is, guys. Once again, it's years of experience in this business, decades. And Coach, is there any substitute for real experience in this business?
Nope. You got to go through the grind. You got to go through the fire. That's the only way you get seasoned and nurtured in this business. Okay.
That's it, guys. And once again, we turn now to, and also on this card before we move forward, you're going to have Yan Santana in a 10-rounder versus Eduardo Baez. Yan Santana's 12-0. They're looking to move him to the next level. Also, in return, Abraham Nova versus Humberto Galindo, as well as Jahai Tucker versus Kilisto Madera. In my opinion, Jahai Tucker is 1 loss away from getting cut by Top Rank. And that's going to be just about it, guys. Let's move forward now to Rene Giron taking on Floyd Schofield Jr. in your 12-round main event of the evening.
I already talked about that, Joe, when you were gone.
Okay, very good. Who do you like? And do you see the upset taking place in the main event of the evening?
Look, if Floyd is the fighter Bernard thinks he is, Oscar thinks he is, it's a good test for him, and he should win, okay? He should win.
Very good, very good. And once again, guys, this is going to be at the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. And in the co-main event of the evening, you're going to have Gabriela Fundora defending her 3 titles in the flyweight division against Gabriela Alanis. And in the next bout, and this is for a title eliminator for the WBA at 168 pounds, potentially winner faces Canelo Bektemir Melikuziev versus Coach Ronnie's fighter David Dynamite Stevens. Loser go home. Who do you like, Coach?
Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, and another prospect fight under that one. Darius Fulgham from Houston, Texas, 12-0. Didn't look very good in his last fight, taking on, fight veteran Christopher Pearson. Do you remember when Chris Pearson was a hot prospect?
Yeah, he was. With Al Heyman. Yep. I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And now he's the journeyman going to, try to pull off the upset against the, in my opinion, overrated Darius Fulgham from Houston.
He don't show me shit.
And that's it, guys. That rounds out your fights this Saturday. Guys, and we're going to be going live on Saturday. We're going to be calling everything. Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to be practicing in a dress rehearsal with my new metal band. I'm going to be singing, guys, so I'm not going to be able to call the fights, but we'll talk all about them the following evening with Coach Gogue. Coach,
hey, Joe, both fights are this Saturday, one on ESPN and one on DAZN, huh?
That is correct, sir. That is correct. And obviously the one on ESPN is going to take place first. Depending on college football. DAZN is going to be taking place in Las Vegas, Nevada, so it's going to be 2 hours behind, right? So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we'll talk all about it, guys, the following evening. But let's have one more edition of this, right? Oh, well, hold on. Let me get this ready for you, Coach. Let's have one more edition. I really love hearing what Coach Gogue has to say about this stuff.
Terrible Fan takes on Twitter/X.
There it is, guys. And this one is by way of the, well, always outspoken morons on the Boxing Voice. Here we go, Coach. You ready?
To Canelo, man. Canelo's undisputed. He's the multi-division champion. The guy's a legend already. And he's fighting the young lions, man. Is Tank fighting Abdullah Mason? No. Is he fighting Kid Austin? No. Is Bud fighting Boots? No. Is he fighting Virgil? No. He fought Munguia and Berlanga. They got 90% KO ratios, man. The guys are young stars coming up. He arguably got both of them before they become somebody huge in the sport. You know, those guys are going to be the next stars. They're going to be in the sport for at least 10 more years and making big fights. I mean, nobody's doing that. Only Canelo. They say it's the soft touch era, but he's fighting undefeated fighters that are 90% knockout ratios, man. Y'all keep on forgetting. Y'all act like Canelo's the big guy. Canelo's the 5'7" Mexican still taking them risks. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody in boxing. You can't compare Tank to Canelo, man. Canelo's undisputed.
Once again, that's enough, guys. That's enough.
You can't compare Tank to Canelo. The motherfucking Tank is not. Canelo is a bona fide franchise, okay? He's the face of boxing. Come on, man.
And once again, guys, all of the fighters that this jackalope just mentioned are still in development. Not like Jaime Munguia or Edgar Berlanga. Once again, there's a big, big difference. To mention those in the same breath as Tank is absolutely ridiculous. Once again, could you ever see Top Rank putting Abdullah Mason, their future star, in the ring with Tank Davis at this time, Coach?
Fucking, they're a lot smarter than these motherfuckers on the internet, okay?
That's my point, guys. You have to understand there are levels to this. The guy is an idiot. And once again, fans are just talking nonsense about shit that they know nothing about. Do you see the theme of this program? Once again, guys, understand that there is a method to boxing madness. Now, only if the fighters would comply and quit pricing themselves out of great matchups. Shit. Yeah. And Toby, he says, Joe, did you just call Las Vegas Lost Wages? Yep. And I'll do it again. Lost Wages, Nevada. There it is. Coach knows all too well that why it's called Lost Wages, Nevada. That is the adult playground, and many people have lost their sons or daughters' college tuition fund in one weekend.
Yep.
When's the last time you went to a big event in Las Vegas, brother?
It's been a while. I've been out of the country, I don't know, 5 years, so I haven't been to a big fight in Vegas in a while, man. Look, I used to go all the time in the 90s. The beginning of the century, you know, the teens in 2000, all the fucking time, man. You know, honestly, I don't get excited. I remember when I first started going to Vegas. Oh man, I used to get excited. You know, the fight capital of the world. In fact, one of first times I went with Tony Lopez, we fought Greg Hagen. The main event was Vinny Pazienza against Duran.
Wow.
MGM Grand. We opened it up. That was the first big fight they had there at the MGM Grand. It was in 93. I can't remember. Yeah. And that was like, oh, man, I was excited. Then after that, I used to go all the fucking time, man. All the big fights. And MGM Grand, Mandalay Bay, you name them, I've been there, man. We fought at, man. In the 2000s, you know, I started working Don Chargan joined Golden Boy, so I used to all them Golden Boy shows they did over there, Top Rank shows. Then in you know, the mid 2000s, the teens. Yeah, then I got out of the country. I haven't been to a big fight in Vegas in years, but I don't miss it, man. Who the fuck cares, man? I don't fuck all this.
So, guys, it's time for the very last of tonight's episode.
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
Now, I don't care what anyone says. That is a great Kenyan accent, guys. So here it is, the final care of, once again, the idiots from the Boxing Boys. Here we go, Coach.
only cares about certain guys. You already know what happened. Canelo Alvarez told him, I don't want to fight David Benavidez. I don't want nothing to do with that guy. Don't say anything to me. And Al Heyman said, fuck Benavidez's future, fuck his trajectory, fuck his career. I'm going to do what he tells me because he brings in the chicken. It's as simple as that. He's a walking economy. Like Anthony Joshua, walking economy. They fold when they told him to fold. Confused because he should have went against the grain. That's why I give credit to guys like Eddie Hearn because he pushes them, even though they might end up losing, but he pushes them into the fights. He got the fight for Berlanga. When Al Heyman's doing all big success, big pay-per-view, he gets all the credit. But when it's time to point the blame at him, no one wants to do it. That's why I asked for Al Heyman to come out and give us a 10-minute interview so he can answer these questions because you got guys like the defense attorneys, you got those defense attorney guys battling for Al Heyman that has never come out and said anything, man. Where is this man? Come out of the cave and give us the interview or something, man.
Okay.
Al Heyman only cares about certain guys.
That,
you already know what
enough.
happened.
That's enough, guys. Chingao. Look, Coach, where do you even start with something that stupid and ignorant?
Where do I start? I fucking turn it off when I start hearing that shit.
Yeah. Once again, guys, here's the link. Both Eddie Hearn and Al Heyman, okay, once again, continued this terrible business model for the health of the sport, and that's overpaying talent. It never ends well for the health of the sport. Once again, man, it makes it virtually impossible to put together the best matchups. Once again, why did they cancel this fight in Houston? Tank Davis, once again, accused of demanding too much money. That's why the Lomachenko fight wasn't made. Shakur Stevenson, okay? No one wants to work with this guy. Terrence Crawford, no one wants to work with this guy. Eddie Hearn is overpaying Shakur Stevenson. Who are you going to match him up with at 35 if he's demanding a small fortune? Who are you going to put him up against, Coach?
Who's that, Shakir?
Yep.
Fuck him. That's what I say.
That's it, guys. That's it. Once again, Coach, we're at the end of the line. Is there anything more that you'd like to discuss on the road ahead? And now, once again, there was a press conference announcing Usyk versus Fury 2. Coach, what are your initial thoughts? We're starting the campaign, banging the drums for the big rematch between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury, which takes place on December 21st. Who are you favoring early on in this campaign?
Whew, man, that's a good question. I haven't even thought about it, Joe. Man, Tyson Fury, man, look, here's, like I talked about it last time, right after he lost. You know, you take shortcuts in this business, you abuse your body, you don't take care of it, it's going to catch up to you eventually. And it caught up to Tyson Fury the last fight and everything. Okay, all the problems he has. You know, the drinking and what is he? Manic depressive? I don't know what he is, man. Something mental problems and ballooning up in weight. You know what I mean? All that shit. Not taking care of his body. Not being a real pro 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, that and when you don't take this sport seriously and you start cheating and you start losing focus and you start getting to all these bad behaviors, probably drugs and all that shit, it's gonna catch up to you. And it caught up to him his last fight. You know what I mean? And when it catches up to you, Joe, you usually don't rebound back to your prime self, your peak prime performance. You don't. I'm going with Usyk again, man. You know what I mean? Because that's Fury. Did he go back to his bad habits? Did he, go back to the demons inside? Over, drinking, partying, not taking care of business, not training, not taking care of his body. You know what I mean, Joe? And that's, eventually he's going to catch up to him, man. And, and like I said, once can you get that prime in you, that prime peak performance in you again? It doesn't happen like that. Once you lose it like that and you're getting older and you abuse your body like he did, man, I'm going with Usyk again. I don't think Usyk does all that shit. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah.
He's like Terrence Crawford. Clean living always prevails. And once again, guys, this is decades of experience talking. He's seen it all, guys. He's got the best eyes in the business. And we are very fortunate to be able to listen to the pearls of wisdom and take it in and learn as something every week from Coach James Gogue. James, always, brother, great job as usual, my friend. And once again, guys, if you missed any part of the show, go ahead and rewind, or you can listen to the rest of it tomorrow morning. It's going to be up all week. Coach, I tell you what, and you know what? Bringing up Tyson Fury, after making all of that money, who's going to be the stern disciplinarian and telling the franchise how to live his life and what to do?
Nobody. He's a grown man. Shit. You know what I mean? He's the boss. He calls the shots. Ain't nobody tell him what to do. That's up to him, man. He's got to make that decision. But when you get that age, Joe, and you get the status of Tyson, he calls the shots, man. And all the coaches and every buddy, they just get on board and do what he tells them to do.
And that's it. That's it, guys. And once again, it's entirely up to Tyson Fury. And maybe it's just too little too late at this point of his career. We'll see what happens, guys. But once again, in the immortal words of Rudy Tomjanovich of Houston Rockets fame, never underestimate the heart of a champion. And Tyson Fury, boy, he's got that stuff. We'll see, though, if he still has it physically.
Is Sugar still training him?
Sugar is still training him, yes, sir. And in my opinion, they're going to be training at their usual island getaway in the UK, right? But I will say this: they may start camp in Florida, right? But this is where they end up, always in the island home of Tyson Fury. But I will say this, guys: a lot like many trainers that I will not mention at this time, Sugar Hill Stewart can guarantee you, without Tyson in the sport, I can't see him continuing as head trainer in this business. I see him, following the lead of guys like Derek James, basically saying, you know what? This is for the birds. Tired of this shit. I'm going to make as much as I possibly can. And as soon as it's over, I'm done.
Sugar's getting tired of this shit too, huh?
Yep, he sure is.
He told you that?
And I can't blame him. I can't blame him. And there are a lot of great trainers who feel that way at this time.
When's the last time you talked to him, Joe?
Well, I'll tell you that off the air, my friend.
Yeah, he's fed up with the shit too, huh?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Guys like Joe Goosen, guys like Abel Sanchez, they're throwing in the towel. And once again, a lot more that I'm not going to mention. Freddie Roach is pretty much. Go ahead, sir.
Joe's been around since the late 70s. Abel's been around since the 80s. They earned their bones in this business. Who else? Ronnie Shields.
Yep.
He's been around since the 80s, man. They come to the point where, time to retire. Sugar, he just got in it this century, so you know what I mean. He really hasn't put the time in like his uncle, Manuel. You know what I mean? Who's been around since the 70s, man. So, but hey, that's the way he feels, man. I don't blame him. Make that money.
Yeah, look,
fuck out.
Yep. Look, guys, Sugar Hill Stewart, and this is the thing that he gets the most that he can't stand. He always is very stern in telling people close to him, look, I understand that Emmanuel was living, breathing, eating boxing 24/7 and made time for everyone. And he goes, you know what? I'm sorry, guys. I know those are some impossible shoes to fill, and I'm not Emmanuel. When it's between fights and between camps, I don't want to hear about boxing. I don't even want to watch boxing. I don't care. And that's from Sugar Hill Stewart, guys.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Sounds like a lot of people we know, doesn't it, Coach?
Oh yeah, get the money and get the fuck out, man. You know what I mean? I'm up. Look, I'm saying this right now, but you never know. I'm almost at the end of my rainbow. I got 2 guys, and that's all I want to train. I don't want to train nobody else. You know what I mean? Because I understand when you take on a fighter, it's a huge responsibility. Okay, all right. and I know how to train fighters. I know how to develop fighters. I know how to teach them. All the fundamentals of boxing, mentally, physically, and all that stuff. Preparation. I can teach them how to be a pro, how to be 110% dedicated, taking care of their body. Treat it like a temple. Don't abuse it. Between fights, maintain the training. You know what I mean, Joe? I know how to teach all that. Teach skill sets, whether it's defense, offense, inside fighting, range, countering, all that shit. I could teach that shit with my going to the gym with my underwear, okay? But
Yeah.
I know every time you take on another fighter, it's I'm to the point, that motivation level isn't there. You know what I mean? That fire, like, oh yeah, that excitement to bring to take on certain. There's a couple guys out there I'll help out. You know what I mean? But the two guys I got right now, that's pretty much it. Man, I don't want to take on nobody else because I don't want to put it with I don't want the added stress or the emotional energy, the time I got to put in developing them guys, going through all the bullshit and just building guys up from scratch and this and that, and it's stressful. So I got two guys, and I don't blame Derek James because I know he's fed up with that shit. And I heard he's still training Ryan Garcia. He probably wants another payday or whatever. And I don't blame Sugar, Ronnie, or any of those fighters that that are tired of this shit.
Yeah, honestly, and here's the $1 million question. Thank you, JD Spades, for bringing this up. This is exactly what I was on getting ready to bring up to the coach, and this is what we're going to leave you guys with. With that in mind, Coach, who are the next great trainers on the rise?
Robert Garcia still has a lot of enthusiasm, passion for this. Joel Diaz, another guy.
Yep. Also Bob Santos.
Look, I don't think, man, I'll leave it like that. But anyway, Joel Diaz. Yeah, Joel Diaz is a good coach, but I can see him, next 5 years getting sick of these shits. Robert Garcia, give him 5 years, he'll be, he might be getting sick of this shit. But I'm talking about guys that you never heard of on the rise. I don't trust none of these fucking guys that train. If I wasn't training my fighter, I wouldn't trust none of these motherfuckers to train my guys. They just don't know. You know what I mean?
Yep. There it is, guys. Once again, we are coming to the end of the last of the Mohicans in terms of old school, world-class, awesome trainers.
Buddy's a great coach. How long
James Buddy McGirt. Yep.
He's excellent. Ronnie's excellent. He's an old school. Freddie, he's on his last, you know what I mean? He's on his last hurrah. He don't, Jesse Reed ain't training guys no more, you know what I mean? He'll go to the gym, just help out guys, but he don't train nobody. Who else? I mean, Kenny Adams, who got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He's not doing too good physically. You know what I mean?
Nope.
And I mean, there's not a lot of old school trainers I can think of, man. I mean,
Ismael Salas is one of the elite currently.
Oh yeah, he's still got that young energy in him, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got too many fighters, in fact. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Toby, once again, thank you for hanging with us, and thank you for hanging with the coach. He goes, Tyson still can't enter America, so they won't be training in Florida, Joe. Look, with the immigration issue right now, do you really think Tyson Fury can't get into America at this time? Yeah.
I don't know, Joe. If he's red flag,
no, it's already done. It's already done. It's already taken care of, guys. I already know this for a fact.
All right.
So, and Alberto, my brother in Christ, says, don't forget about Manny Robles.
Manny Robles, good trainer, hard-working trainer. He still got enthusiasm for the sport. Yeah.
Hawker Mustang, he says, someone told me that Robert Garcia is moving to Texas. Well, look, it wouldn't surprise me. There has been, over the last year and a half, a mass exodus outside of California.
Hey,
and he already has two gyms. Yes, let's hear it, sir.
I saw Robert in May, and he's thinking about moving to Mexico. He wants to get the fuck out. And he has, because when I saw him in August Caliente, he had a undercard fighting on the card. He was surprised to see me. He goes, man, what the hell are you doing up here? I ain't see you a long time. I live here now. I live in Leon. He goes, Leon, Guanajuato? I didn't know he knew about this area. I go, how do you know? He goes, man, I go through this area all the time. I love Leon. I love Guanajuato. He goes, I'm thinking about moving to Mexico. I said, no shit. He's tired of California and all the bullshit and all that liberal bullshit and the high taxes and all this shit. He's tired. He wants to get the fuck out, man. And he's getting to that point, man. He's gonna get 50. He wants to start, preparing for his retirement. You know what I mean? And his wife and his son, they want to get the hell out. And one thing I told Robert, I said, look, Robert, wherever you go, your fighters are gonna follow you. And he looked at me, and his wife looked at me like, you're right. His wife said, Robert, wherever you go, your fighter, you're right. Wherever Robert goes, he'll be a success. Okay. So I don't know what I heard he's thinking about moving to Texas too. You know what I mean? But
he already has several gyms in Texas. Yeah. And I spoke to him a couple weeks ago when he had his event here in San Antonio. Good turnout also. Good card. He's got a lot of prospects here from San Antonio. So, and we're doing a good job cultivating ticket sellers for Robert. So, you know what?
He might move over there then. Yeah, to Texas.
I can see him. And once again, it's not that far from Mexico. So I can see him doing either one. But either way, yes, he's going to leave California, guys.
Yeah, I can
guarantee you that.
If he moves to Texas, he's got to get a bigger gym than the one that they have there. He'll probably get a bigger gym and everything. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And so there it is, guys. There it is. And hold on. Ricky Funes. He said, thoughts on Ricky Funes, coach?
He's doing a great job, Ricky, with Hamas. Excellent job.
Yep.
Ricky don't train a lot of guys. He just trains a lot of celebrities and shit like that. Hamas is his only fighter he messes with. He's doing an excellent job with Hamas. Ricky came up. I remember when he was a kid back in the 90s. Just teenager. Joe Goosen took him under his wing, and he learned from Joe how to be a trainer. Yeah.
There it is. Alberto says, Coach, does Texas have the same sparring quality as LA? Well, if Robert Garcia moves here as well as some other guys, it will.
No, it doesn't. But Robert's fighters, Robert always develops great sparring in his gym. That's the key to his success, is having the great sparring. Yeah, you know what I mean? So wherever Robert goes, he's going to be successful. He's a smart businessman. He's a good coach. He really cares about the fighters. Fighters really like him. All these factors you need to be a successful coach in the business and everything. Yeah, he's a good man. I talked to him a couple of times about that Chavez incident. Julio, I don't know. He had a fighter fight up here a few weeks ago, and I don't know. It was a big old mess with Omar Chavez and his fighter. They just walked out. They didn't want to fight Omar because he was too heavy when they weighed him in the day of the fight and the weigh-in. So he said, "Ah, the hell with this shit. We got the hell out."
Yeah, well, in retrospect, that's exactly what Bill and Devin Haney should have done.
There's too much money on the line, Joe. You're talking about millions of dollars and $5,000, $6,000. Okay,
that is true. Well, then you know what? My advice to them then: don't cry over fucking spilled milk. This was your decision.
Yeah.
Now you look like a bitch.
Yeah.
And there it is. Yeah. And there it is. And anyway, also Alberto, he says, yep. And also he says it was just the Big G's 80th birthday. Blessings to him. And here's to many more. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Roberto. He's a good man. He's not in the boxing business. He goes to his gym every day, but like Robert said, he doesn't work corners or work pads. He just watches everything, gives his advice and everything. Yeah, I know the Big G since the 90s when he was training Ferocious, Fernando Vargas, and Robert Garcia when he was an amateur. Yeah.
Yep, there it is, guys. And Coach, any parting shots for our listening audience tonight?
No, I'm just waiting for the fights next week. Schofield, I like. That's a fight I'd like because we've been sparring that Tellez guy, so I like to see how Schofield does against that guy.
And let's just hope, guys. And let's just hope Oshaki Foster lets his hands go this time.
Yeah.
And there it is, guys. There it is. And once again, we'll meet up this time once again next Sunday, preferably an hour earlier, right? Because we're both going to be on the same time, me and Coach Gogue. So we should be starting the show an hour earlier next week. Look forward to that, guys. And once again, always thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting the incomparable 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue. And guys, on behalf of Maestro James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing. Have a great evening, everybody.
Rodvajan Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.